Most contractors are losing six figures every year because of one pricing mistake. And it's not what you think. It's not about estimating wrong or forgetting materials. It's not about your crew working too slow or your suppliers charging too much. It's about the markup and the limiting belief that keeps you broke. Hi, I'm Yelizaveta Taylor, CEO of Beyond Book Solutions, and today I'm going to share something with you that's probably going to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. But if you stick with me through this entire video, I promise you're going to understand why you've been working your tail off for years and still don't have the profit that you desire. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. So let me tell you about a client I've worked with recently. This guy had been in business for 30 years. 30 years, imagine that. He had a solid reputation in his community. Everyone knew him, everyone trusted him. He was booked out months in advance. From the outside, it looked like he was crushing it, but when we sat down and looked at his numbers, I honestly, literally almost fell out of my chair. This contractor was running an 18% markup on all his jobs, 18%, and his cost of goods sold was 77%. Now, if you don't know what that means yet, don't worry, I'm going to break it all down for you. But here's what you need to know right now. After 30 years of hard work, this man had essentially no profit, none. He was working himself into the ground, stressing about payroll every other week, and at the end of the day, he was making less than some of his employees. And when I asked him why his markup was so low, you know what he told me? He said he wanted to be fair and transparent with his clients. He said his competitors were cheaper and he didn't want to lose jobs. He said he felt guilty charging more because he's just a regular guy trying to make a living. Does any of this sound familiar? Because I hear this all the time. And it breaks my heart because these beliefs are literally bankrupting good contractors who deserve to make money for the value they provide. So today I want to walk you through what I call the three-part pricing problem. And if you're struggling with pricing, if you're constantly stressed out about money, if you're working harder than ever, but not seeing the profit translating from all this cash flow, this is for you. So let's start with the part one. And this is huge. Most contractors don't actually know the difference between a markup and a margin. I'm not saying that to be mean. This is something they don't teach you in trade school. They don't teach you this when you're learning your craft, but it's absolutely critical to understand if you want to run a profitable business. So let me break this down in the simplest way possible. Markup is what you add on top of your costs. Margin is what you actually keep as profit. And here's where it gets tricky. They're not the same thing, not even close. Let's say you have a job that costs you $10,000 in materials and labor. If you add an 18% markup, you are charging the customer $11,800. Sounds good, right? You made $1,800. But here's the problem. That $1,800 isn't profit. Not yet. That's not the money you get to keep. That's the money that has to cover your overhead, your insurance, your track payments, your office expenses, your marketing, your accounting, all of it. And after all that, what's left is your actual profit. So when you think you're making 18%, you're actually making way, way less. In fact, with an 18% markup, your actual profit margin is only about 15%, and that's before we even talk about overhead. This confusion right here is killing businesses, not just in construction, by the way. I see contractors all the time who think they're profitable because they're adding markup to their jobs that they think is sufficient, but they're not looking at the whole picture. They're not calculating what's they're actually keeping at the end of the day. Now let's move to the part two, and this is where things get really scary. This is what I call the overhead trap, and this is where most contractors realize they've been working for free or worse, at the loss. Your overhead is all the money you spend to keep your business running. Even when you're not on a job, it's your insurance, your truck payments, it's your phone bill, it's your software subscriptions, your office rent if you have one, your marketing, your bookkeeping, your legal fees, all of it. So for most construction companies, overhead runs somewhere between 10 and 25% of revenue. Some companies it's even higher. Now here's the math that's going to blow your mind. If your overhead is, let's say, 20% and your markup is only 18%, you're literally paying to work. You're in the negative before you even think about profit. You're subsidizing your business with your own money, probably raking up debt, definitely not paying yourself what you're worth. And this is exactly what was happening with that client that I mentioned earlier. His overhead was around 22%. His markup was only 18%. He was losing money on every single job and didn't even realize this. He just kept thinking, if I work harder, if I get more jobs, it'll get better, but it never did because the math wasn't mathing. You cannot mark up your jobs less than your overhead costs and expect to be profitable. It's literally impossible. And yet I see this all the time. Contractors who are working 60, 70 hours a week, running themselves ragged, and they're broke. All because the numbers just don't add up. Now let's talk about part 3, and this is the big one. This is the limiting belief that's keeping you stuck. And I want you to really hear me on this because this is probably the most important part of this whole video. The limiting belief sounds like this. I can't raise my prices because I'll lose jobs. My competitors are cheaper. I want to be transparent and fair. I don't want to rip people off. I'm just a regular guy. Can I be really honest with you? These beliefs are costing you everything. They're costing you your profit. They're costing you your peace of mind. They are costing you time with your family because you're constantly stressed about money. They're costing you your retirement and the ability to grow your business and hire good people and pay them well. And here's the thing that nobody wants to say out loud. These beliefs aren't really about being fair or transparent. They're about fear. You're afraid that if you charge what you're actually worth, people won't hire you. You're afraid that you'll lose to the competition. You're afraid that you're not good enough to command higher prices. But let me tell you what's actually happening. When you underprice your services, you're not being fair. You're being dishonest. You're lying to yourself about what it actually costs to run your business. You're lying to your family about why you can't take a vacation or why you're stressed out all the time. And you're setting yourself up to either go out of business or work yourself to death. And your competitors who are cheaper, they're either making the same mistake that you are making or they're cutting corners you're not willing to cut. Either way, that's not your problem. Your problem is that you're trying to compete on price instead of value. And let's bust some myth for you right now because I've seen this play out hundreds of times with my clients. Here's what actually happens when contractors raise their markup to where it actually needs to be. So first, they still get the job. Not every job, but the right ones. The clients who value quality and professionalism and reliability. The clients who understand that you get what you pay for. Second, clients actually respect them more. When you price yourself properly, you signal to the market that you're a professional. You're not desperate. You're not the cheapest option because you're not trying to be. You're the best option for people who want quality work done right. Third, their profit goes from 0 or negative to 6 figures. I am not exaggerating. I've had clients go from barely scraping by to making over $100,000 in profit in a single year just by fixing their pricing. Same business, same crew, same quality of work. The only thing that changed was the numbers. And fourth, they stop feeling guilty about making money because you deserve to make money. You're providing value, you're solving problems, you're taking on risk, you're managing people, projects, stress. You're using your expertise and experience to deliver results. That's worth something. That's worth a lot, actually. Making a profit isn't greedy. It's necessary. It's how you stay in business. It's how you provide for your family. It's how you hire good people and pay them well. It's how you invest in better tools and training. It's how you build something that lasts. So now let me give you the solution. I call this the profit first pricing formula, and it's how actually you're gonna fix this problem. Step 1, you need to calculate your true overhead. Not what you think it is, not a rough guess, your actual overhead. Go through your bank statements and credit card statements for the last year. Add up everything that you spent that wasn't directly on a specific job. Your insurance, your track payments, your fuel, phone, software, marketing, accounting, all of it. Then divide that by your total revenue. That percentage is your overhead. And I'm willing to bet it's higher than you think. Step 2, decide on your target profit percentage. And I'm going to tell you right now, it needs to be at least 10 to 15% minimum. You're not being greedy, you're focusing on sustainability, and that's just smart business. That's what allows you to build a real business instead of just buying yourself a job. If you want to grow, if you want to hire people, if you want to have any kind of financial security, you need to be targeting at least 10 to 15% bottom line profit. Step 3, reverse engineer the markup you actually needed. This is where the math works. Overhead 20%, you want 15% profit, you need at least 35% markup just to break even on those goals. And honestly, most contractors should be running markups between 40 and 60% depending on their overhead and profit goals, maybe even higher. I know that might sound high, but the math requires it. That's what a sustainable, profitable business looks like. Step 4, and this is critical, you need to learn how to communicate value, not just cost. When you're talking to clients, you're not just listing out materials and labor hours. You're talking about the outcome, about peace of mind, about the warranty and quality, and the fact that you are going to show up when you say you will and do what you said you're going to do. You're talking about your experience and the fact that they're not going to have to worry about this project because you've got it handled. Price is only an issue when value isn't clear. If you can clearly communicate the value you provide, the right clients will pay your price, and the ones who won't, those aren't your clients anyways. Look, I know this is hard to hear. I know it's uncomfortable. I know you might be sitting there right now thinking, but hey, you don't understand my market. You don't understand my competition. You don't understand my clients. Here's what I do understand. I understand that you can't build a sustainable business on hope and hassle alone. I understand that working harder isn't going to fix a broken pricing model. And I also understand that you deserve to make money for the value you provide. Also, I understand that if you don't fix this, you're going to end up like that client I told you about at the beginning, 30 years in business with nothing to show for it. You didn't get into this business to be broke. You got into it to build something, to provide for your family, to be your own boss, to do work you're proud of, but it's not possible if you're not profitable. That's the reality. So if you're undercharging and you don't know how to fix it, I want to help you. I've helped hundreds of clients fix their pricing and their profitability, and I can help you too. If you would like, you can book a free strategy call with me. The link is right below in this video. We'll look at your numbers together, we'll figure out where the leaks are, and I'll show you exactly what you need to do to start making the profit you deserve. You've worked too hard to stay broke.